Hey everybody, so for today's video I'm going to be talking about some of the other YouTube channels that I have personally been going to and watching for information and entertainment. So I'm going to be talking about the channel as well as the overall context of what they have and what I personally find interesting on their channel. I'm also going to be including links to their channels in the description. Just a quick note though, some of these channels, because of the whole COVID quarantine lockdowns, some of these channels have started to decrease their number of postings or have shifted a little bit of their focus, and I'll be explaining that with each individual channel. If any of these channels have videos that you're really interested in, go ahead and subscribe to them, help them out. They're definitely ones that I enjoy watching on a regular basis. Some of them are older that I've been watching for like the last 2.5 years. Some of them are channels that I've just started watching recently. This is in no particular order or ranking list. I'm not going to say any of these channels are better than the others. They all have their own little unique feature, what they kind of focus on. So let's get into it. First off, we'll have Mark over at Overstay Road. Not only does he provide a lot of useful information on living here, coming here, moving here, things like that, but it's also just very entertaining. Mark definitely has a very outgoing, charismatic personality. He gets a lot of viewers on his channel. It's just some really good fun, but he actually does put a lot of little information bits out there that are very useful to people that are going to be moving here. For example, when I was doing a walkthrough of my bathroom, I'm talking about the Tabo and the bucket of water and how you can use that to flush your toilets, take a shower, as an alternative to toilet paper, all that kind of stuff. He did a really good video that explains in layman terms for Westerners how that works, and that's just one of the examples. He's done cooking shows, he's done walkthroughs of the whole area that he lives in around Subic Bay, and it's just some really good videos. We have Ned over at Philippine Dreams. This is one of the channels that I initially started really getting into before I moved here. A couple years ago, I started looking into the Philippines as an option. I was kind of interested in what the housing situation would look like, what the prices might be. And one of the first videos of his that I went to is he was showing a walkthrough of his house down in Dumaguete, and just a good clean walkthrough, overview of it, how much he was paying, things like that. Looked like a nice place, so start watching more of his videos, and he's got a lot of good information on there, and it's just a very entertaining channel as well. We have Brian at Philly in the Philippines. He's up in Angeles City, and him and his wife, they've got like a sari store, and he does a lot of information updates and things like that, traveling all around the Angeles area. So that's a really good channel, and especially if you're interested in moving up to the Angeles City area, he does provide a lot of information on the city and the surrounding area. We also have Phil. It's Philo in the Philippines. He's up in Caloocan, which is northern part of Metro Manila, and him and his family live up there in a nice little house. I just want to point out right now, Phil is in the United States during the whole COVID thing. Not quite sure when he's going to get back. So right now he is not posting any new videos yet, but he has a ton of videos in the past. It's everything from just cruising around, getting motorcycle prices, going shopping, things that he's doing with his family, barbecues and karaoke singing, and just all kinds of general stuff. A bit of information as well. So it's still a very good channel if you just want to see what family life is like for us foreigners here. Then we have Ed, and his channel is Joseph My Life. It used to be My Life in Metro Manila. He has recently moved back to the United States. He is in the process of petitioning for his girlfriend, soon-to-be wife, and kids to go to the U.S. with him. So right now, the majority of his videos are about moto vlogging, riding motorcycle and stuff back in the States. But when he was here in the Philippines, he had a ton of videos that were mostly oriented towards moto vlogging, riding motorcycles around Metro Manila and within parts of Luzon in the Philippines, going to different malls, going shopping, just all kinds of general things. Most of it is going to be oriented towards the moto vlogs. If you're not really big on motorcycles, some of that might not seem as interesting, But one of the main reasons I started getting into his channel, I started watching before he even got the motorcycle. It was just kind of interesting because here's a younger aged American living in Metro Manila. But what really got me was taking trips on the motorcycle all around the Philippines, including he was driving right through the city areas that I was planning on moving to that I've never been to before. And it was just really cool to be able to see from his perspective, just going and taking these long trips, drives, just being able to see and explore the area. A lot of good stuff on there. Then we have Mark, another Mark, over at Every Man Has a Story. He's also down there in Dumaguete, and a lot of his channel is about interviewing other foreigners, other expats that are living here in the Philippines, telling their stories, everything from what did you do before you moved here, why did you move here, how do you like your life here, just all kinds of stuff like that. He does have occasional videos talking about his background. He's pointed out certain things such as the tutoring service that he was doing online here in the Philippines to earn a little bit of extra money. And it's just some really good information, and some of it can be actually very useful for reference. One of the people that he interviewed on his channel was Justin, and his channel is Critter Hunter. Now, Justin is a younger American. He's currently here in the Philippines, but he's a worldwide traveler. His big thing, though, is scuba. So he does a lot of scuba diving where he's recording all kinds of unique creature species and stuff like that. If you're really into scuba diving, underwater biology and everything of the different species, not just here in the Philippines, but worldwide, he's got a very good channel for that. He's done a documentary and everything. So if you're really into that, it's a really cool informational channel to watch. I've watched a few of his videos on different species that I didn't even know it existed here in the Philippines. So it's pretty cool. Last we have Philip, and this is the Rizzuto family vlog. He is an American. Again, he's one of the younger aged Americans living here in the Philippines. He's kind of out in the provincial areas, and he's got his wife and his son. The cool thing is he's building a local style house. So he's been posting a lot of different videos on just the process of building a house here in the Philippines on the cheap, and different complications and stuff. He'll also do walkthroughs of some of the markets and grocery areas and just daily life. So in my opinion, if you're really on that lower end of the budget and you're still wanting to figure out, instead of being stuck in the rent trap, how you might be able to afford building a house. It's not going to be some grand mansion, but just building a house on a local budget. He has some really good videos that talk about all the pricing and stuff like that, and just showing what life can be like living out in the province areas. There are quite a few other channels that I do watch as well. The only thing is those channels, they don't have just constant content that is of interest to me personally. Every once in a while I might see one of their videos that has some information. I'll go watch it, but they're just not a channel that I'll go and constantly watch. The ones that I've mentioned, these are all ones that I personally subscribe to, so whenever they're posting new content, most of the time I'm going and watching all their new videos. It's not just a, every once in a while hit up and see what they've got kind of thing. There are just tons and tons and tons of channels. Some of the channels here I would say are not really what you might want to watch. Channels I would kind of say stay away from because their information can be very misleading, can be very, I'm just trying to think of a way to say it without offending too many people or, just being an ass. But there are channels that are for the sexpat community, the ones that are kind of here for the extracurricular nightlife type thing. I stay away from those channels. There are channels that are here that they just bash on government and politics and all this and that. They're not really providing useful information. It's more or less just a channel where they can go off and rant, and then your other people with similar mindsets can get in there and get into the contents, and it's just a toxic area for me. At least that's the way I look at it. There are some other channels that they have a couple good, very useful informational videos, but either they don't post that often, they aren't updating the information, or the other content on their channel is just totally outside the scope of my interest. so I don't watch them that often. I definitely recommend, though, that go around YouTube, look at all the different types of channels out there, start watching some of the different videos, and if you see somebody that's posting some good stuff, look at the comments, see how well their reception is, see how well others are responding to it. But if it's something that you like, subscribe to their channel and just help them out, and hopefully it'll have some good useful information. Even if it's not very informational, at least it could be very entertaining. So those are just some of my top picks. Again, I will have in the description links to all of those channels. I definitely recommend you go and watch a couple other videos, see if it's something that you're interested in. This has not been like a collaboration. I haven't talked to any of these guys about mentioning them. If any of them are watching, hey, you guys are doing a great job, and that's why I thought it was important enough to mention your name in your channel and to hopefully get some other viewers over there, because your information is useful enough for me over the last couple of years that I've definitely decided to go out and recommend you to others, because I'm hoping others can get that same level of information and usefulness. So thanks for everybody for watching, and have a good one.